Live from Smitty1.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Take a lap.
What is going on, good people? I'm your man, Smitty. You are watching the Fantasy Football Show live emergency edition, talking to Deshaun Watson. Where does he land in 2022? Obviously, you know by now. If you don't, I'll tell you. Deshaun Watson is not going to face criminal charges. He was handed that information after the grand jury decided to look at this and see if they wanted to proceed with criminal charges. And earlier today, we found out, due to about 100 different reports that came rolling in real quickly. I can pull up one right here from Adam Schefter that suggests that this man would not be facing criminal charges. So Deshaun Watson is clear from the criminal stuff for now. Anything is possible in terms of like another case or something down the road, because this was not a class action. It was not looked at as a one encompassing thing. But from the 10 individual criminal cases against him, he will not be looking at criminal charges. So this all comes down to civil now, and now he's not at looking at exempt list threats like you would in the past, where Goodell would just put someone on the exempt list no matter what. Civil, the only thing left is civil. There are 20 plus civil cases that are potentially he's facing, but that's not going to put him on the exempt list. The only thing that the league could or might be able to do, and there's probably some details that even we don't know that are in the league rules and such. We'll bring a legal mind on this, hopefully sometime this week, to talk about it, but that he could potentially be suspended for something at some point, whether it's 2 games, 4 games, no games. We don't really know. I'm not saying he will for sure get suspended, but there's been a lot of rumblings and talk about him maybe still looking at some kind of punishment, league punishment, for the situation, the 22 plus civil cases or whatever. And the league can determine things like that on their own. They just can't place him on the exempt list. So there is a threat to that. Some teams might be worried about that. But dude's getting traded. Where is he going? Because now that there's no criminal threat, teams are gonna pay to try and get this kid into their organization and rebuild their organization around him. And some teams are more now ready than others. You take a look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, in my opinion, let's see here if I can grab this right here. Pittsburgh Steelers, in my opinion, are the most now ready team of the potential landing spots. I have the potential landing spots mapped out right here. We got Philly, we've got Minnesota potentially, we've got Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, Carolina. I guess Detroit, would be an option in terms of needing a quarterback, but not a likely landing spot for him. So I'm not putting Detroit on there. I'm putting Seattle. I'm not putting Indy, because we highly doubt that there would be a trade where Houston would send Indianapolis interdivision a quarterback like Deshaun Watson. So I kept Indianapolis off, kept Detroit off, but New Orleans is on the list. Seattle, Carolina, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, and then Philadelphia. I don't think the Giants are going to be in play for Deshaun Watson. My dark horse right now, and maybe this is me being hopeful, Philly hurts all. This is what I'm talking about here, bro. This is what I'm talking about. Richard says Philly has Hurts already. Why Hurts disrespected so much? Richard, I don't know if you watch my content religiously, but I am one person that says this all the time in my own chat, Richard. Usually my chat has my back, but my own chat, my own community, in a nutshell, does not agree that Hurts has potential. I think he does, but the Eagles don't. So Richard, whether you and I believe Hurts has potential or not, doesn't matter, because the Eagles don't believe it. The Eagles want to move on from this man. So this is I don't know if this would be like me. This is my bias taking effect here, because I think Philly would be such an interesting spot, because it would open up another quarterback situation for another team. Jalen Hurts going to play somewhere else, and then Watson playing for Philly? Because if you think about it right now, if Watson goes to Pittsburgh, they need a quarterback. If Watson goes to Tampa, they need a quarterback. If Watson goes to Carolina, they need a quarterback. Seattle, they need a quarterback. New Orleans, they need a quarterback. If he lands in any one of those situations, we don't have two quarterbacks emerge from the scenario. If Watson gets traded to Philly, and they clearly don't believe in Hurts, they just don't, Richard. I don't know why. I don't know why so many people have already written him off when he's so young and he hasn't been instilled with confidence. He hasn't been given the proper opportunity. He's been set up for failure, but he's shown a lot of promise. So I believe he has the talent if he gets nurtured right and brought up right and given the right tools. If Philly acquires Watson, we have two amazing potential quarterback situations developed from one move. Indy can't be a Joey. They're not sending him. I agree that would be a great spot. We talked about it earlier, but there's no way they're sending him to Indy interdivision. You know, they're not going to send him to a team in their division. That's just not going to happen, whether he wants it or not. But if Philly gets Watson, they're surely going to send Hurts packing to get rid of the controversy, and they don't believe in him anyway. They'll take whatever they can get. Maybe they get maybe a couple third rounders, a second rounder. I don't even know what he's worth because Philly doesn't value him. Maybe it's a second rounder. Let's say it's a second rounder, which would be phenomenal value. A team would be crazy. Maybe they'd ask for a first rounder, and a team would pay it because they need a quarterback. We don't really know what the market is right now for a Jalen Hurts. I'd imagine it would be a first or at least a couple seconds or something, but who knows? The way quarterbacks are valued versus non-quarterback positions in terms of draft capital is strange. The way that the NFL and owners and teams value draft capital is strange across the board to me. Sometimes draft picks are so overvalued, I scratch my head. And then with quarterbacks, they're more along the lines of what I would pay to get a player, like the Khalil Mack trade. That seems like he got given away, you know, to a person just passing by the situation. When you take into account the contract and the money savings, it makes sense for the Chicago Bears to have traded him because now they can spend money on other things, and they felt they couldn't win. Now it makes sense, but when you look at it from the Chargers' perspective, the Chargers hit a home run. They got him for a steal. So it's a weird trade where both the Chargers and the Bears both benefit. The Bears benefit, and then they benefit a lot later where you can't really measure it right now or see it. Whereas the Chargers just hit a flat-out home run. They don't have to worry about hitting the second-round pick, the sixth-round pick that they got. You could miss on those. So to get Khalil Mack right now, you know what you're getting. Injury risk and all is a home run, and it makes the Chargers so dangerous and so much better. So this right here would be ideal in a way because we've got Devontae Smith. Devontae Williams is on my mind, I guess. We got Devontae Smith. I like Hurts, but they're not enabling Hurts, so that's going to hold back the connection and rapport between Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts. If they're holding back Hurts, that's going to hold back Devontae Smith. This man right here, Watson, if he heads over to Philly, they're going to believe in him. They're going to set him up for success more than they set up for Hurts for success. I don't know why. But if he lands in an Eagles uniform, and I think he probably would want to play there, playing, you know, with Devontae Smith, I think he would want that. I think he would. I think he I don't know why Pittsburgh's not interested. It could be just the negative press and everything that was relating to the criminal situation. And now that that's out of the way, now that Deshaun Watson is not going to be brought up on charges, the criminal charges, he's just facing the 20+ civil cases, which is not going to land him on the exempt list, but may or may not lead to some sort of small suspension. We don't know. But if the Pittsburgh Steelers report is they don't want Deshaun Watson, or they don't want to go down that road, that was before the criminal charges were not pursued. Now it could be a whole different ballgame. Not to mention, we don't know what they really feel. It's smoke season. You know, not only could they be throwing up smoke, it could be a completely wrong report. Where did we hear this from? Did we hear this from Tomlin's mouth? No, we heard it from a beat reporter. We don't know if the Steelers are really out on Deshaun Watson. It would be the most ideal landing spot from a fantasy football perspective, because in Pittsburgh, and let me make it clear who I'm talking about each time. in Pittsburgh, I'll make all these small while I'm discussing one at a time. In Pittsburgh, you're talking about Najee Harris to the moon. You're talking about Deontay Johnson in the top 10 maybe. You're talking about Claypool, maybe he's the top 10 guy and Deontay's 12 or 14. You're talking about two potential top 15 wide receivers, one of them being top 10. You're talking about Najee Harris scoring maybe 14, 15 touchdowns, even if Watson's going to vulture some. You're talking about ball movement. You're talking about in the red zone on the regular, living in the red zone. You're talking about Freiermuth maybe being a top 6 tight end. You're talking about a top 6 overall team in the NFL, maybe top 5, right out of the gate. Right out of the gate. Thank you, Swaggy. Swaggy says to Neptune, thank you, pal. Watson for Murray. I'd give up the 23 overall pick. The Cardinals have the 23 overall pick. I'd give that up. And Kyler for Watson in a heartbeat. I haven't heard buzz about this. Freiermuth to the moon. Double A. You bet your bottom dollar. Jonathan's in the house. We got Kyle in the house. Smoke season. Smoke season, boys. Watson will be a Steeler. Let's hope, Free. Let's hope, bro, because if he is, we're all having a day. We're all having a day. Which of these teams has the best PR department? I don't know. I think Tomlin would be phenomenal because he's a hard-nosed coach, and I think he would get the most out of Watson anyway. Jose was first in the building tonight, by the way. Double A was second. Kyle was third. Swaggy, then Kenny, and Emil. Appreciate you guys all being here. Jonathan, Swaggy, Michael. Pittsburgh, guys, fantasy production wise, number one spot. Then I'd have to say, Seattle's interesting because you got DK, you got Lockett, maybe Penny's retained, maybe they bring in another running back. Who knows? That would be interesting. I don't know if Seattle would be second, or if you'd say Philly would be second because you got Devontae Smith, and just a nice connection between these two. I think Devontae Smith is getting overlooked in Dynasty and in redraft for 2022 and beyond because he's literally been held back. I mean, he only had 1 year, but he's literally been held back not because Hurts isn't good, but because Hurts isn't enabled. And so, and again, this leads to another quarterback landing in a big spot. Like here's the picture I want to paint. If Watson goes to Philly, where's Hurts going? And I know a lot of you don't like Hurts, but believe me when I tell you there's potential, whether it gets lost or it's missing or it never gets he never gets rebooted properly if he goes elsewhere. That's possible. I'm admitting that because the guy's been pretty much doubted. His confidence has to be a little lower than it should be right now. But think about it. Where could he go? Carolina? Hurts in Carolina would be pretty phenomenal considering the alternatives. Who would you rather have? Trubisky? Who would you rather have? Jimmy G? Rookie? Minshew? Gardner Minshew? Trade for Jordan Love? No one's trading for Tyler Huntley. I'd take Tyler Huntley in a heartbeat in a Cardinal uniform. But apparently Tyler Huntley isn't on the minds of NFL teams for some odd reason. I don't know why. But if Hurts went to Indy, if Hurts went to Pittsburgh, if Hurts went to the Seahawks, if he went to New Orleans, if he went to any of these spots that need a quarterback, Tampa Bay, it would be phenomenal for fantasy football. Watson in Philly can save and salvage Jalen Hurts, in my opinion. Because I think if Watson, let's say, goes to Pittsburgh, you still have Jalen in Philly, right? But will they draft? Will they trade him? Will they draft somebody? They clearly don't want Hurts as their starting quarterback, and I think he's set up for failure. I don't know how much I trust Jalen Hurts because of his situation, not because of his talent. Watson, best QB available by far, says Mark Cleveland. Absolutely. Watson to the Steelers. Brian Flores is there too. Kyle says the AFC East too stacked. I feel sending Watson to the NFC makes the most sense for balance. Maybe. Hurts is going back as a part of the deal. Everything I keep hearing is the Steelers aren't going after Watson. But where are you hearing that, Rocky? Just take a look at, is anything coming straight from Tomlin? Is anything coming from like a direct source, or is it all beat writers throwing smoke up and calling it news? Because, I'm not saying I don't do that as well. I'm not saying I don't bring stuff up or talk about a topic that barely has any credibility, or tell you when I'm projecting and predicting something, but I try and be pretty clear when it's my prediction, and I'm not saying something as a matter of fact or that I heard something from somewhere. So I'm a little bit more of an opinion-based analyst than I am a news fact reporter. Okay, so it's going to come out different from me than a beat writer who's has an obligation to write a certain way. So in my defense, you're going to hear a little bit more of that from me, and in that sense, we're going to hit every topic. Like, a lot of people will say, Smitty, you were wrong on this because you talked about this. Like, I'm talking about every scenario. I'm talking about him going to Carolina, talking about him going to Philly, talking about him going to Seattle and Pittsburgh. Like, I'm hitting everything. I'm hitting every possible opportunity. Sometimes when I say something, it's not because it's 100% going to happen. It's because I want to talk out the logistics of something or talk out what the impact could be, so we're all prepared for all these different scenarios. Do I know where he's going? I have no clue. I can make predictions of best fit, Pittsburgh's best fit, but does Pittsburgh want him? Does Watson know how good he'd be in Pittsburgh? Is he in the same place I am in terms of analyzing where his best fit could be? Maybe not. Maybe he thinks New Orleans is the best place to go because he feels Kamara and Mike Thomas are just the best players in the league. Like, he might not know or believe that things aren't going to go well with Mike Thomas, because, to be honest, I want him playing with DK before I want him playing with Mike Thomas. I don't trust Mike Thomas at all. We don't know if Alvin Kamara is going to even miss time. New Orleans would be intriguing if he lands in New Orleans. I'm kind of excited. I'm going to be excited wherever he goes, because we got potential fantasy football goodness brewing no matter where he lands. All these spots that are in play are good. Like, he's going to score well, and he's the one quarterback in the top 5 or 6 overall that I feel can survive a little better than the rest of them by himself. Like, if he has one good wide receiver, like, let's say he has McLaurin and I know he's not going to Washington, but Washington, if they had waited, maybe they would have been in the sweepstakes. I don't know. But, like, let's say he was to have gone there. McLaurin would have been fantastic. McLaurin would have been top 6 to 10. But now he's got Carson Wentz throwing him the ball, which is better than a couple other options, but it doesn't make him top 6 to 10. It makes him a top 10 potential and waiting if anything happens. There's no way Kamara doesn't get suspended. I feel the same way. LaBella, they did reconstruct his contract, which was kind of odd, almost in a way that feels like they don't see him getting suspended, but, like, I don't know. Who knows? He's got to be, right? Like, he's got to be. The video footage confirmed the victim's story. It's not like it's he said, she said. It's not like the Dalvin Cook situation, which still could arise and come up and be a problem for Dalvin Cook. Make no mistake about that. Be fearful of that. But that was he said, she said. This Alvin Kamara thing wasn't he said, he said. It was literally backed up by video footage that a guy put his hand on Kamara. Or no, the guy put his hand on Kamara put his hand on the guy getting the elevator. The guy smacked Kamara's hand away, and then entourage with Kamara jumped dude. And when dude was down, dude got kicked while he looked apparently unconscious several times. Like, this is not a good look. Like, could he get away with it? Absolutely. Like, we don't know. We don't know. As the famous line goes, he could settle. But anything could happen. Anything. I mean, have we not learned through the Russell Wilson trade to Denver that anything can happen? Anything can happen. What's Watson's dynasty value with this news? Pretty darn good, bro. Pretty darn good. Watson's how old? Let me just pull his birthday. Watson is 26 years old, turning 27 on September 14th. So 27, he's got, I mean, look at Aaron Rodgers. You know, I know Brady and Aaron Rodgers are unique, and you can't ever expect people to play, you know, that long. But, I mean, 27 years old, he essentially could play another 10 years before you say, okay, this might be his last year. Like 37, I could see it, you know, especially given he took a whole year off. His body hasn't been, you know, abused the last like year and a half, even like, I know he's probably staying in shape, but dude's been pretty rested. So like 36, 37, like that would be a 9-10 year career. So even if the Seahawks, like I've mentioned, feel like they're in blow up mode and rebuild mode, it still wouldn't be crazy to go get Watson and build around him, you know, and potentially try and win now. You've got DK, you've got Lockett, maybe they bring back Penny, like I said. It's a good team. Like, they're blowing up a little bit of the team. And if they don't land Watson, they may continue to. But Seattle wouldn't be an awful landing spot. And boy, it's like checkmate. It's AFC West says bring Wilson in, and now you've got Denver, Wilson, you've got Mahomes and KC, you've got Herbert in a Chargers uniform, obviously, and then there's Carr. Like, poor Carr and the Raiders, they're not making the playoffs probably ever again. and then you have in the NFC West, the Niners, Trey Lance, king of the NFC potentially. I love Trey Lance this year. I don't care what anybody says. I'm expecting greatness. You've got the defending champ Rams. They have to be considered a favorite to be a top 3 team in the NFC. Period. Not just the NFC West, but the NFC. So the Rams, the Niners. You have Green Bay that's not in the NFC West as a potential top 3, top 4 team. And then you have the Cardinals, who may or may not be good depending on Kyler Murray, and if Kyler Murray can turn things around. And as I've said a couple times over the last 48 hours on my live streams, I want to make sure I can continue to repeat this so people hear it. If anybody's heard me rip on Kyler, I want you to also hear this take. Every time I rip on Kyler moving forward, it's going to be followed up by this comment, by this kind of take, because I want everybody to understand all sides of everything, because things can change quickly. If Kyler Murray turns his attitude around, if Kyler Murray has an epiphany and says, you know what, I hit rock bottom in terms of my mental state, I've been kind of awoken, and I need to start leading. I need to buck up. I need to start leading, and I need to start learning. I need to start absorbing, and I need to start becoming a team leader, the kind of person that doesn't need to ask for an extension, the kind of person that gets a phone call and says, hey, we want to extend you. If he has that kind of epiphany, the Cardinals could turn it. He could turn it around. It's possible. I'm hopeful that happens. It doesn't feel like it's on that course now, but I want everyone to know, as much as I rip on Kyler, as much as I tell you I want him gone and give me Watson in a heartbeat, there is a potential. Like, it's hard to upgrade Kyler while he's not in I'll win you a Super Bowl form. He'll never win us a Super Bowl in his current form. He just won't. He won't. We won't go deep into the playoffs if Kyler Murray is in the same headspace he is in right now. Is it within the realm of possibility that this dude could turn it around and be different? Absolutely. Absolutely. So he's hard to upgrade because he's still more talented than, I would say, almost every quarterback outside of the top 7, top 6, top 7. He's still a top 10 talent, but he's not playing like that. He's not leading like that. He's very much outside of the top 10. He's probably outside the top 12 and probably outside the top 15 in leadership and ability to take a team on his back and carry them. He looks like he does that when Hopkins is on the field and the running game's good, but when things fell apart for the Cardinals and it was just him and a bunch of inexperienced guys, or like Rondell Moore, he didn't utilize Rondell Moore. Kingsbury didn't utilize Rondell Moore. They're both to blame, but Kyler didn't step up. Kyler should get paid. I don't think so, Emil. Not yet. I'm in Arizona. I'm a Cardinal fan. I'm telling you. We don't think he should get paid. You know why? Because we don't know if he's even staying. He's threatened to go play baseball. There's a lot of people that think in the valley here that a lot of people think he's going to go quit baseball. Let me throw a little scare into the mix here. There's a lot of people in the Valley here, in Arizona, in Phoenix, that are talking like, this kid's not going to go quit and play baseball. He's going to try and play baseball at the same time. He's going to try and do what Bo Jackson did. And that's going to further distract him if he's trying to literally play baseball and football at the same time. That's what some people are thinking his next move is. Baseball is back on. Who knows what this kid tries to do. I'm just telling you, for all the negatives, there are some positives, but he's got to turn this around. Where were we at? Philadelphia. Seattle, again, is interesting, intriguing. DK Metcalf. I mean, who doesn't want to see Watson to DK Metcalf? That could be one of the most dangerous connections in the NFL. I mean, there's a lot of people that have been soured on DK Metcalf. Can you imagine if you're trading for DK Metcalf? And there's reason to buy him right now. And you can maybe get away with buying him still very cheaply because someone might not be in the know about Seattle being a big contender to potentially get Watson. They may not get him though, so you gotta buy him at the right price that you're okay with, even if he doesn't have Watson throwing him the football, because you might have Minshew throwing him the football. But I really believe that Watson to DK would be unreal. He'd be a top 5, top 6 wide receiver potentially on and off throughout the next decade. Like, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Carolina would make DJ Moore, I don't think top 5 or 6 or anything like that. He might be a top 10 wide receiver or dance inside the top 10, but kind of finish like outside or right around 12. There's just too many good wide receivers for me to, even with Watson, put DJ Moore inside like the top 6. Could he be like 7, 8, 9, 10? I mean, it's possible. I just think it's different. If in Philly, I think you're looking at Deshaun or Devontae Smith potentially being a top 12 guy in 2022, or at least eventually, by 2023 being at that level. But Devontae Smith is ultra talented. He needs to be throwing the football, a certain way. And I feel like Hurts is just completely held back. It's not his fault, but do I think Hurts will have success in Philly? Probably not. Not long-term success, because they want to set him up for failure. I don't know why, but they do. Pittsburgh, again, is probably the best overall location. New Orleans would be interesting because, let me see if I can get a New Orleans graphic up here. New Orleans would be interesting because the odds of Kamara and potentially Mike Thomas like not playing or working out this year, like both of them busting, is probably, like, I don't want to say low, but it's not likely that Kamara is going to get like suspended all year and then Mike Thomas is not, no longer relevant or something. But there's still a shot that both of them are, so it's a really decent landing spot for sure. Do I like it better than Pittsburgh? No. Do I like it better than Seattle? No. I don't trust Mike Thomas enough. I do believe Kamara is looking at some sort of suspension. So I believe that's a risky proposition. He won't go to the Giants. There's no way, because Watson has control. I should have led with that so everybody in here knew, but he has control of the trade. He can approve it or disapprove it. He has a trade clause. So Deshaun is a quitter. Why do you think that? I'm not trying to rip on your comment. I just want to know what your stance is on that. So go ahead and drop me a reply. Beach dropping a super. Thank you for the dono, Beach. Appreciate you. Best fit in order: Tennessee, Indy, Bucks, and Pittsburgh. Tennessee's interesting. Not a lot of people do talk about Tennessee, Beach. It is a good spot. I mean, really, it is. It does. I don't know that they're interested, but that is a good spot, and you don't hear it talked about a lot at all. I mean, that was where Aaron Rodgers was potentially looking at, and a lot of people wanted that to happen. A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry, Julio Jones could be revived a little bit. He's still not going to be the same guy. But man, I mean, Tennessee would be good. I just don't know that they're in the game. They seem to weirdly believe in Tannehill. I don't know why, but that would be a good fit. Appreciate the super chat, pal. I need CMC to come to Buffalo for a 2nd and a 6 like Mac. That would be ideal to me, says Swaggy. Yeah, can you imagine getting CMC? What's your cap look like in Buffalo, too? Let's look up the Buffalo Bills cap number. Not that the cap is all that important because you can just get around it, but when you're trading for an existing player, it does make it a little more tricky than if you're signing an extension and you're structuring it to cater to bonuses and upfront money with the contract. Whereas if you're trading for a player that's contract is already, ironclad, to receive it, you have to be able to receive it, and then you can restructure it, but you got to be able to receive it. And Christian McCaffrey contract, it just makes it trickier when you bring over a guy like McCaffrey. His contract is wow. Let me put this on screen here. Christian McCaffrey's contract is this right here. Look at this bad boy. Christian McCaffrey signed a 4-year deal last April, $64 million contract with the Panthers that includes $21.5 million in signing bonus, $38.16 guaranteed, and an annual salary of over $16 million per season. He's not a cheap contract to bring on. Buffalo Bills salary cap. Let's see here. It looks like, I can put this up here for you. Here's the Buffalo Bills salary cap. So total cap, right? Where's my circle? Let me do an underline. Okay, so here's the cap liabilities. So team cap space, 400,000. Not looking good. So team cap space is 400,000. I don't know that you can make a Christian McCaffrey trade. You could sign him, like if he was a free agent, but it doesn't appear to be something that's doable. Team cap space, $400,000. I mean, that would be good, but it doesn't look like it's possible. Tell him again, Kyle Whittaker. Steelers have the cap room. Yeah, I know, man. Get Tomlin on the phone. Steelers salary cap. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do, buddies. Look at this. Look at this. Salary cap for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Where's my line? Salary cap space, $27 million. $27 million. Michael wants to know Cleveland. Cleveland salary cap. Browns salary cap is $16 million. So they could probably wiggle that around and bring in CMC if that's what you're talking about. If you're talking about Watson, I don't know. I don't know if they can bring it in. Bring him in. But he wouldn't want to play for the Browns. I'm sorry, Browns fans. I don't think he wants to play for the Browns. I don't think he does. Bills Mafia in the building. That's right, Swaggy. But Bills can't afford Christian McCaffrey. I mean, anything can be moved. I don't know. Why would any QB want to go to the Steelers? Why would they not? Kango. Brady did not because he knows. No, Steelers would be ideal. I'm telling you right now, man. I'd want to go. That'd be my number one place out of all these locations. Pittsburgh can win a Super Bowl right this very second. I mean, immediately, bro. Immediately. Pittsburgh would be ideal. I'm not a Pittsburgh fan. I'm just analyzing it. I'm a Packer fan, says Michael. I got you. What's up, Zach? How many people we got in here? 50 people. Hit the thumbs up button if you guys could. Please, let's get the viewer count to match the thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. I would appreciate it. Let me see if Raj wants to jump on. I'll send him a link. See if he wants to hop on. He may. I'm not sure. On YouTube, if you want to join. Let's see if Raj wants to join. Watson, it's your bedtime. Okay, Michael. Didn't mean to keep you up, buddy. Watson wants to play in Pittsburgh. He already said he does want to play, but according to beat writers, the Pittsburgh Steelers don't want him. I disagree. Maybe because I'm biased. I don't know. Robert bought Claypool just in case. You know what? I have a funny feeling, Robert, you're going to be back saying, see, told you buying Claypool was a good idea. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you. The real question, how does the Watson news make Herbert even more of the GOAT that'll punch you in the throat? What do you mean? What do you mean specifically? Swaggy says, Smitty is the hardest worker in the room. Thank you, pal. I don't know about that. You guys are, I'm sure you are all hard workers as well. I like to think I'm the hardest analyst in the business. No doubt. Our goal is to take over. 45 people in here. Hit the thumbs up. We're 45 minutes into the show. Eagles or Saints, says Edward. Eagles or Saints. Smitty knows. Attaboy Kango. Watson's going to my Bucks. Kango's laughing. Todd says, just joking about how the Mac. Oh, okay. You're just saying anything that happens makes Herbert better. Like it's gonna rain tomorrow. That just proves Herbert's even bigger GOAT than before. Is that what you mean? Is that what you mean, Todd? This pen ran out of ink. That means Herbert is absolutely phenomenal. Even more than we thought. Hit the thumbs up, says Beach, with a super chat. Appreciate you. Second super chat of the night. I need to do something special for my super chatters. Can you guys tell me what you would enjoy? Would you enjoy like the leader of the whole show up in the corner, or what would you prefer? Because I know some might say I just want to support it, but like, what can I do to not only give back, but encourage super chats and like make it fun and make it rewarding to super chat? Like, what would be a good recognition? Thank you, Kango. Watson to Philly. I'm kind of feeling a weird feeling that could happen. I think all these topics are really, I'm reading this word topic. All these landing spots are very, very arguable. Off topic, but shout out to Coach Popovich for becoming the winningest coach of all time. Nice. Very nice. Thank you, Kango. And Kango, you can disagree with me if you think that Pittsburgh's bad. Like, I'm not ripping you apart for it. I just think they're a great spot. I mean, the offensive line will immediately be significantly improved with the presence of this type of offense led by Watson alone. It just spreads things out. Spreading out a defense does a number on the offensive line production, and then they're going to address it all offseason long. Basically, this was a trade. I got Waddle 23 24 23 and 24 first rounder, I guess is what you're saying. Traded the guy Marquise Brown and Darnell Mooney. That's pretty good. Super chat bomb, like take a lap track. I like that. I like that idea. Whoa, Richard dropping the Hyundai. Richard wants to. You know what I'm also gonna do? Richard dropping the hundo. Richard, I think what I need to do is keep like the name of the highest super chat of the year, like on the live screen, on screen all year. Like Richard potentially could stay there for a while, but Richard dropping a bomb. Kenny Powers, appreciate you as well. Any super chat level is amazing in my book, but I think we need to we'll start this off with Richard. Richard dropping the hundo. Top super chatter of year, Richard Watkins, beast. 100. Like something like that. Let me put that in the corner of the screen and see how that looks. You know, like something like I don't know. I'll come up with like a graphic or something, but I think something like that would be good. You guys deserve recognition, and I could put that, you know, somewhere on the screen and keep it there on live streams or something. But Richard dropping a hundy. Richard, you're the man, pal. Kenny, you're the man, and also Beach for dropping supers. Thank you. Richard, let me read your comment. I didn't even look at it yet. Smitty is a fantasy genius of all time. Thank you, Richard. Richard, the man. The man with the plan. Kenny says, if you haven't subbed to the new Dynasty channel, you're missing mock drafts and Dynasty content, which is true. And you can find that right here. If you go to youtube.com/Dynasty Fantasy Football, I'll go ahead and drop that in the chat as well and pin it so you guys can find it. Let's see here. youtube.com/Dynasty Fantasy Football. Okay, so I'm gonna pin this in the chat, but please subscribe to this channel. Dynasty Fantasy Football. Okay, so subscribe to that new channel there, because all the Dynasty mock drafts will take place on this Dynasty channel right here. So I've put that in the chat and I've pinned it. So youtube.com/Dynasty Fantasy Football. You can go there just by going to that URL or click the pinned link and subscribe, because we'll be doing all of our Dynasty mocks there. Thank you, Kenny, for reminding people, and especially doing a super chat to do so. Thank you, Richard, again for the hundo. We're going to keep Richard on the screen for a little while to promote his greatness. Thank you, Richard. Smitty gives you gems every year. Thank you, Kango. Appreciate that. I miss too. I'm not trying to, like, you know, I don't hit everything, that's for certain, but I try and give you guys the best delivery I can and give you guys a place to congregate and also help each other, because you guys are some of the brightest minds in the fantasy football space in terms of a community. I have the best followers and peeps in the world. I appreciate all of you. He's going to be Denver's backup. Who are you talking about? Light? Who are you talking about? Thank you, Jorge. Guys, go follow the new Dynasty channel or subscribe. I pinned it in the chat. It's going to be where all the Dynasty mock drafts are taking place. And I'm not taking Dynasty off of the main channel here. This main channel will not get dialed back at all. Like, we're obviously, look what I've done in the last, like, I don't know, 70 hours. How many live streams we've done. The main channel is the main channel. But I think the Dynasty channel is going to become huge, because I'm going to do one player Dynasty takes, and all the Dynasty live stream mock drafts over there. Is going to get lit. It's going to get lit. In the off season, we have good follow. I mean, for an off season show, 55 people constantly watching throughout the entire night right now. That's good for a freaking 1 a.m. show during the off season. Like, if we did this in August or September, we'd have 150, 200 people in here. So like these numbers are phenomenal for the off season. The Dynasty content is going to grow a lot during the off season, so it's a good place to hang out if you're going to want consistent Dynasty content, because I'm going to drop it over there like crazy. Smitty, why not the Colts? No, the Colts are they're a tough prediction, because they're not gonna trade him to the Colts, bro. You're talking about Watson, right? If you're talking about Watson, Jose, they're in the same division. Smitty has NFL Network resume. I have a pretty good resume. If NFL Network called, they'd be pretty impressed. I just don't know they know who I am. But I don't know that I'd answer the call. I'll pick it up to talk. I'd pick it up and say, hey, send Scott Hansen on over. By the way, I'm going to get Scott Hansen on the show very soon again, so hang tight for that. Jake Knight, I don't remember having a bet with you on the Aaron Rodgers situation. That bet was with... Can anybody confirm that Jake had one too? Let me know. I know I had one with what's his name? Blanking out on you, buddy. What's his name? Michael. I had one with Michael, but let me know. Light says, honestly, I think that Watson is going to play with the Panthers. Hot take? No, it's not a hot take. They're one of the leading potential candidates, bro. But yeah, Jose, Indianapolis, they're in their division, man. I don't see them trading. LOL, Jake is smoked out. Texans ain't going nowhere for a long time either, says Jose. What do you think of the Texans? What do you think Texans will get for Watson, and do you like Davis Mills in Dynasty? Davis Mills is okay. I think they get at least 2 first-rounders and like a second, but they're trying for 3 first-rounders. I started the stream, but Philly has 3 first-round picks plus many more picks. Yeah, that's why I think Philly's in the running, because look at this. This is the NFL draft order. And look who is at... Looky here, reindeers. Looky here, reindeers. Look who has the 15 overall pick. Look who has the 16 overall pick. So Philly, that's why Philly has such a strong opportunity, especially given their interest in getting rid of Hurts, and there's been ties to the Eagles that they've been interested. You can't really get better than this. To offer the Houston Texans 2 first-rounders in this year's draft at 15 and 16, I mean, you can't get better than that. You might be able to get away with just the 2 picks, for. So that's why I think Philly's quietly a dark horse, and why I believe you're looking at, what is this? I forgot to read that comment and I just took it off. Someone said, okay, I just started the stream, but Philly has 3 first-round picks plus many more picks. Why not swap out Hurts for Watson? Come on, son. I don't know what Glitch thinks he's saying to a man that literally started off the live stream saying that Philly was my potential lead dark horse spot, but it's okay, Glitch. Hey, Glitch. This one's for you, pal. The button doesn't work. Let me fix it. I think there's a bad cord here.
Take a lap, take a lap. Take a lap, take a lap.
Appreciate you, though. Committed to it, just said. Oh, okay. Jake says, We never committed to it. Just said tongue in. Okay, gotcha. Appreciate you being honest about it at least. I knew I made one bet with somebody on the side. Take a effing lap. How does Watson do after a long break? It's a good question. It's a really good question. I think he does okay. He's so talented. Just such an athletic guy. I mean, maybe he struggles a little bit, but maybe not. I don't really see a lot of struggles. What about Pittsburgh Steelers' chances of getting Watson? They say they aren't interested according to reports, but we're talking about that for a while. That it seems like it's hard to trust those reports right now. Beat writers talking about it. Get Watson. That might be a good one, JD. We might have to do that. And I was just messing with, I already forget who it was. Who was it? Glitch. I was just kidding with the Glitch, by the way. Bruce. Is your mother around? Bruce, is your mother around? Is your mother around? Mr. Robeson. Because there's someone special that I have a little message for. Okay, let me put on a. There's a special young lady in the audience tonight, and it's her birthday, and her name is Miss Robeson, who gave birth to a gem, gave birth to a legend named the Bruce. We call him on the show the Bruce Robeson Jr. This man was born into greatness because of this young lady that we're speaking of right now. The creator and the originator of this right here, this beauty.
Fake, boys!
God, Miss Betty's sleeping. Bruce. The Bruce, come on, bro.
Fake,
Miss Robeson.
boys.
That voice, that beautiful voice you hear right there, is her birthday, gentlemen. So everybody can everybody right now in the chat for at least 30 seconds rain some sort of fire or cake or thumbs up or something for Miss Robeson so that we can make her feel special on this day where she came into this earth to grace us with amazing things like
boys.
Miss Robeson, that one's for you. Okay. On to the next. Well, Bruce is at work. He's not even in front of his mom. Well, at least share it with her, okay? The stream will be replayable. Good God, the Bruce. Najee needs Watson, definitely. Definitely. I would love Najee to get Watson. We don't want Jimmy G commanding that Steelers offense. Like, come on, guys. I mean, we can't possibly think Najee's going to have as good a year with Jimmy G or Mariota or... I mean, Trubisky, everyone seems to want to believe he can do it. I don't know. Minshew's like, okay. Watson and Najee's to the moon. Like, we need it in Pittsburgh. As much as I like the idea of Philly. But if Philly could send Hurts over, Hurts isn't going back to Houston. They don't want him. They're gonna be fine with Mills. If Hurts can go to Pittsburgh and Watson can go to Philly, I'm fine with that. Watson to Tampa with that team and weapons. That would be a pretty good place too. I won't lie. Jimmy G doesn't do anything for Najee Harris. That's like basically quarterbackless. Like, I'd rather them run the Wildcat every single snap to Najee than to actually put Jimmy G back there. Are the Dolphins strong on Tuesday? Like, they're sticking to him. Oh, Tua. I think you mean Tua. It looked like you were saying you wrote Tuesday. But they are pretty strong on him because McDaniel got on the phone with them when he was on a plane. Wasn't even face to face, and he's like, he was on there's video footage of him saying, like, basically I'm kind of paraphrasing here, but like, you are the best ever. Which, in my opinion, whoops.
Take a lap. Take a lap. Take a lap. Take a lap.
Yeah, take a lap, McDaniel. That was a rookie move on McDaniel's part. Just on the phone with him on the tarmac. He wasn't even face to face yet. He was on the phone with him, FaceTime, and go, Tua, you know, can't wait to get started with you. I mean, it's good that he's encouraging his quarterback. I like that, but basically, almost put him on his will. And it's like, you don't even know if you're gonna get a chance to get Watson. Don't promise this kid, you know, the throne when you leave this earth. He was like literally committing to him. Could McDaniel get the most out of Tua? Absolutely. I really think he can. But is the most a Super Bowl contending team? No, I don't think so. And Waddle should do well with Tua. They obviously have amazing rapport dating back to obviously before the NFL. But Tua, Waddle will be fine. McDaniel will use Waddle much like he used Debo in San Francisco. He's thought to be a big, heavy hand in architecting that situation in San Francisco with Debo and how they used him. And Waddle was already used on the ground in a very similar fashion. So you've got to think that Waddle, who caught 100 receptions as a rookie last year, is going to be Debo-esque. I'm not saying he'll be Debo exactly, but he'll be very Debo-like. And maybe he's not a big guy like Debo. He's smaller. He could get hurt taking carries up the gut. But simple solution. Throw him a 1 yard, hook. Throw him a 2 yard slant. Throw him the ball, have him step back, launch the ball to him, throw it to him in the flat, have him become basically a wide receiver again. You're just getting him the football in creative ways at the line of scrimmage or, on the line of scrimmage. Like, that's a way of kind of utilizing almost as a running back. You're just not going to, sweeps, things like that, jet sweeps. You don't have to have him run up the gut. You'll get hurt that way. But Waddle's going to be unbelievable. Top 5 to 10 wide receiver in 2022. Watson to the Titans. We all have a lot of bold stances tonight. Like, watch. Watson. I mean, I did that with Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers. He's not going back. Watch. And then February came in, and I'm like, okay, maybe watch. And then March, and I'm like, crap, 50-50. Smoke season, baby. That's the way it's gonna be. Nobody should have high expectations on reliability of rumors and smoke, because we're all sifting through it, and it's fun. And you gotta take smoke season for what it is. You can't make live and die choices and trades off of smoke season, because man, it can flip in a second and go the other direction. Jalen Hurts, what about him? Waddle, wide receiver 4 in Dynasty, could be Kenny. I like him. Nick Foles is the best QB in football, and I won't hear otherwise, says Glitches. Okay, Glitches. Do you, pal. Do you. T-Bone. I don't think so. He definitely doesn't have the feet and accuracy. I think T-Bone's talking about Tua. Javonte running back 2 if Najee doesn't get a good QB. I think there's a possibility we head that direction, Trujo. Let's wait and see, but I definitely feel that could be a vibe. I'm not joking around, bro. That definitely feels like something that I might be peddling in a little bit. I love Najee Harris though, like, that's not gonna change. I just think we can't get there yet. We got to let this play out, because we can't keep bouncing around on Najee, and we affect ADP a little bit. I know it sounds really arrogant to people passing by, people passing through, but you shouldn't be passing through anyway. If you found the channel, you should stay, because we have a lot to offer. We're live all the time. We're a good community. We mock draft all the time. The show content is like no other. Your man Smitty works as hard as he possibly can. I'm in the studio constantly. I built this studio for this specific reason, to serve my people. I work for you. And what was the question? I don't even know where I was going. I'm tired. Smitty, let me see. What's this question? I have this foot pedal here for a reason. Smitty, is Tampa Bay playing week 1 next year? Smitty, is Tampa Bay playing week 1 next year? What's that even mean? Clarify for me, pal. Listen to your boy Smitty, says Kango. Kango's the dude. Kango's that dude. I found the show 2 years ago and I'm stuck. I'm a lifer. That's a attaboy, Todd. Attaboy. Todd, appreciate you. Light's questioning, I think, what I was questioning. What does that mean about Tampa Bay? I don't even know what that means. Light says, you like... What's Light saying here? You like the Goat House YouTube channel. I don't know what that is. Goat House, that sounds like that's something I don't know if I want to know what that is. TB12 at Smitty. TB12. Okay. God, I'm so tired I didn't put that together. Where was that question? I thought Tampa Bay is what you were saying. I think Tampa Bay is going to play week 1. He meant Tom Brady. Where's that original question? Who was it that asked that? Who asked that question? Where is that? Cam Newton. There we go. It was you, Jim. It was Jimmy Boy. Jimmy Boy is saying, Smitty, is Tom Brady playing week 1 next year? TB, TB12. Proper abbreviation for Tom Brady's TB12, Jimmy. You threw me off. No, I don't think he's playing week 1 as of this moment, but that could certainly change. My confidence level is like 50%, you know. You hear the Niners targeting Cam for a starting spot soon. Cam for a starting spot? Like what? I don't buy that. As a backup quarterback? Or are you talking about like as a tight end? A-Rob to Philly, since we almost got Ridley, maybe. Could see it. I'll go out on a limb and guarantee Tampa Bay will play week 1. Just kidding. Tom Brady's not playing. LOL. He could. I wouldn't say it's crazy, but I think, you know what I think Tom Brady does is, let's say Tampa solves their quarterback situation and then somebody gets hurt. Then Tom Brady comes back, says, I'm gonna stay retired unless you trade my rights. In mid-season, Tampa Bay's like, let's do it. Let's get something for Tom. And then team that has injured quarterback trades for Tom Brady's rights. He comes back and he plays half a season. That I could see happening. I love Jalen Hurts. I don't think Tua has the endurance strength. Yeah, wouldn't that be great if Hurts could go to Miami and throw to Waddle? Are you out of your minds? Oh, I would love that. I would love that. That would make my day. Cam's career is done. I don't know what this Cam talk is. What is this? What's this? Everyone talking about Cam going to play for the Niners as a starter. You mean a tight end? Like, what is... No one's taking Trey Lance's spot. Haskins for Pittsburgh. Where do you think Bobby Trees? What do you guys think of Bobby Trees? Man, we miss Bobby Trees. We miss Bobby Trees. He was such a fun player to talk about on the channel. What do we call him? Roberto Trees, Bobby Trees. Roberto Trees was the best. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I think I'm done for the night. I don't know. Am I? No, I'm not. I'm not. We got 60 people in here. We got 60 people in here. You guys need content. All right, where was I? What, Bobby Wagner? Oh, Bobby Wagner. Where do I see Bobby Wagner? I don't know, bro. I don't know. You're asking me to predict the future. Rumors, Dallas wants Wag. Isn't Wags the nickname of the guy on, what's his name? Billions? Isn't that Wags? Wags? I think that's his name. Watson to Tampa Bay. Arians wanted him. Maybe. Love the content, Smitty. Thank you. Rag, appreciate you. Smitty, do you think Colin Kaepernick's coming back to the NFL? Honestly, I'd rather have him than Jimmy G. I'd take a chance on Kaepernick over Jimmy G. Smitty, you blew off my Haskins for Pittsburgh comment. Well, I thought it was a joke, bro. I thought it was a joke. Greatly appreciate the content. Thank you, Swaggy. I think Cooper had the season he had because Bobby Trees. No, he was doing good, bro, before Bobby Trees went down. I don't know. I mean, Cooper may have had less of a year. Maybe, he would have not had quite as big a numbers down the stretch, maybe. Smitty, I'm buying Tim Patrick shares this week. It's been cheap so far. I like Patrick, but I like Hamler better. But I can't guarantee that's going to shake out that way. Denver wins the Super Bowl. Possible. Certainly possible. Nobody should be discounting just because the AFC is so tough. You got Herbert, you got Mahomes. And Burrow. It could be Russell Wilson. Denver could win the Super Bowl. And Tom Brady moves to Tampa, wins the championship. Stafford goes to the Rams, wins the championship. Wilson gets traded to the Broncos. They could win a championship. It's like a pattern. Who's Haskins? What is Sutton's upside now? It's probably Judy, the top 10 wide receiver that emerges from Denver in fantasy football, but could it be Sutton? Sure, but is Sutton more like 15? I'd probably bank on that. Eagles get rid of Hurts, send him to the Seahawks. I would love that. I want Hurts to be starting somewhere. That's why I'm kind of pulling for the Eagles to get Watson in a way. Because I think out of all quarterbacks, he's the most capable of surviving weird situations and without maybe the best of wide receivers. Like a good wide receiver is in Devontae Smith. I'm not saying he could be top 10. But I mean, like when you look at like Tampa where they got 2, or you look at like Watson doesn't necessarily need 2. Jerry Jeudy over Sutton, I agree. Biggest sell plus buy in Dynasty, go Waddle, and sell Cook, Henry, Barkley, and those guys. Waddle I buy, Lamb I buy, Trey Lance I buy, Tony Pollard I buy. Keep Kaepernick will never play another snap in the NFL. I wouldn't put it past him playing or not playing. I mean, there's too much time has gone by for people to think he's still got it, but I certainly wouldn't want Jimmy G is what I'm trying to say. Winston, Mariota, Trubisky. Okay. Thank you, Bruce. Bruce, make sure you play that for your mom, okay? And you get my video. You've been Javonte'd. Maybe we'll take a You've Been Watson'd as well. Darnold. In fact, I think I want one that says you've been Deshaun Watson. The full name, Deshaun Watson. You've been Deshaun Watson. And then we want you've been Javonte Williams, or you've been Javonte. Those are my 2 requests, Bruce. Please get on top of it, Bruce. Please, Bruce. I just wish your mother give her one of the most glorified birthday gifts she could ever receive. Money can't buy the kind of birthday gift she just got from the show. Man Cooks keeps getting disrespected as a wide receiver. That's true. Massage Watson. Smitty just throwing it out there. Do you play fantasy basketball? I want to tell you a little funny story. I was probably better at predicting fantasy basketball sleepers, and I was better at fantasy basketball than I've ever been at fantasy football. That might shock some of you. You might be like, whoa, mind blown, because basketball was my sport. That's what I played. I was college capable, and I threw it away when I was younger because I wanted to play other sports, and I was cocky and arrogant, and I stopped playing it I didn't want to play JV and freshman basketball, so I said I'm going to come back play senior. They wouldn't let you play varsity until your junior year. So I was like, I'm not going to play freshman basketball. I want to play varsity everything. So I was an arrogant kid, and I just kind of kept throwing my basketball skills down the drain because I lost my edge being out of it for 2 years or whatever. But basketball is my sport. I got a basketball hoop in the backyard, laid cement out, put a basketball hoop up right when I bought this house. I love basketball, love it. I don't watch it as much as I used to because I just don't have time to watch football. But I was better at fantasy basketball than I am fantasy football. I was so good at it. Like even in grade school and high school, I'm scouting players. I'm watching Jordan, mimicking him every day. And I predicted Allen Iverson when he was unknown in college in like a little paper thing that I did, newspaper thing. Steve Nash in the school paper wrote Steve Nash would be the best point guard to ever walk the earth. And he wasn't, but like to call that when he was in college and not even on radars. I loved basketball. I was so good at finding basketball sleepers and breakouts. I don't know a lot of the players in the NBA right now. I've completely lost that. I mean, I still can identify it, but I completely lost that edge in knowing anything about fantasy basketball right now. So. But I have a lot of ties to some NBA players and stuff. So we do, like Ryan Hollins comes on here a lot. What are you typing, Kango? What is this? Smitty is the man. Tell him, Smitty. They don't know Smitty. No, they don't know who the F you are. Are you sipping on Grandpa's cough medicine tonight, Kango? I appreciate you, though. You're definitely throwing a lot of love my way. I just don't understand what's going on. Appreciate you, Kango. Cup doesn't put the fear in defenses like Tyreek. And I mean, I hear what you're saying, 1988, but can we not find a way to put any freaking doubt on Cooper Kupp right now? Like Triple Crown winner. Like, are we really going to pick on him in some way, shape, or form? I appreciate what you're saying here, 1998. I'm just saying, like, Cup doesn't deserve any of that. And look at this. Glitches is like, let me throw down a super. Let me pull it out and put it right on the table, says Glitches. He says lemon character and baby lemon twirling around in the air hugging. I don't know what that means, but Glitches sounds wonderful. If it comes along with the $49.99 super chat, it sounds glorious. Whatever you're describing here to me, I feel like I'm picturing an NFT that you're describing. Maybe this is a World of Warcraft figure, or what do you call it? A Roblox or Robux or whatever the hell my daughter plays. Maybe that's a skin in the game here. I don't know what I'm talking about here. This lemon twirling around, but it sounds fantastic. Whatever it is, bro. $49.99 super chat. Drop it like it's hot. Glitches bringing the fire, bringing the thunder. We got Richard bringing the thunder. We got Glitches bringing the thunder. Glitches bought you guys another 10 minutes of questions minimum, is what Glitches did. Richard too. Richard, are you still here? And Kango still says I know. No matter what I'm saying, I could tell you wrong, and Kango's here to tell you I know. That's Odell twirling. I still don't get. I mean, I don't know what I'm missing here. Jake Knight in the house. Jake Knight, appreciate you. Put some respect on Cup's name. I mean, I appreciate MCF 1988. I wasn't coming at you. I was just saying, can we not find a way to? Can we give Cooper Kupp the respect he deserves for at least the next couple months before we start taking down his accomplishments? I've already heard twice that it was because of Woods going down. Cooper Kupp doesn't strike fear in defense. It's like, I mean, he's a Triple Crown. You know, like I appreciate it. Like I'm not upset at the comment. I'm not telling you to take a lap, but like, dude was a Triple Crown winner. You know, like how does he not strike fear in defense? Like, maybe they're not afraid he's going to run them over like DK, but like you're guarding Cooper Kupp, you're a tiny bit worried because he's going to drop a triple crown right on your face. You know, like I don't know what you call that if that's not intimidation. That's Cooper Kupp's a specimen. He's a specimen. Would you rather have Kupp or Metcalf? Kupp. I mean, even if you're talking about a football team wanting longevity and long-term value, I mean, Kupp, he's the number one wide receiver in the league right now. I mean, Stafford's special. The connection's very unique. Like, you take Stafford away, like if you were to take Kupp off the team, he's not going to be the same, but you can't divorce player from situation. You know what I mean? So for me, Kupp. The man had 19 tutties. Sheesh, says Swaggy. Sheesh. Kupp is glorified Coke Beasley. You mean Cole Beasley? Kupp is a glorified Coke Beasley. I thought that was like a Dynasty wise Metcalf, bro, says Sean. I don't think so. You know what? I think 2 to 3 years is enough for me. Give me Kupp. I can understand you going Metcalf, but give me Kupp. And yeah, Kango's point right here. And Kango will tell you, I know. Kango's been sipping back on some of Grandpa's cough medicine tonight. And Kango will tell you that without Wilson, we don't know. Now, if he gets Watson, maybe we have this conversation over. Okay? If Watson goes to Seattle, maybe we have this conversation over. Again, glitches. Thanks again, pal. Richard, are you still here? Richard is the man with the master plan. Metcalf was horrible in the second half of the year, says T-Bone. T-Bone ain't messing around with no DK over Cooper Kupp. He doesn't care if it's a double dynasty league. He doesn't care if it's a keep him forever and tattoo him on your body, and you put your lineup on your forehead and tattoo it and leave it there for life. He's still drafting Cooper Kupp over DK. He says, at me. Kupp had one of the greatest wide receiver seasons ever, says Rag. He's a little upset over this. Rag is not having this talk. Stop the disrespect on Kupp. Well, maybe spell his name right then, Calvin, before you jump out. Here, Calvin, let me fix that for you. Done. Calvin's point now can be executed. Glitches says 1. And I guess if you were to say something like, who's the best wide receiver over the last like 3 years, or who's going to be better, DK or Kupp over a course of 5 seasons, like definitely have an argument. You know what I mean? Definitely have an argument. Definitely. But like coming out of that year and walking into next year, it's hard for me to accept. And you're talking about dynasty, so technically it's like, what does he do from this moment, not including last year? So to Glitch's point, or whoever's backing the Kupp is overrated stance, which I'm not in that boat, don't tie me to this, but to their point, you can't use last year. What does Kupp do from here forward? And do you feel like DK is better to own? I can understand it. I'm just saying, I can also understand somebody saying, I don't care if it's 2 years, give me Kupp for 2 years. Because DK's a big dude. Maybe he struggles with injury. Right when Kupp falls off, maybe DK's like missing games, like, and never really plays like 17 games. You know what I'm saying, Vern? T-Bone says, where do you think Jimmy G will land? I think he will get swooped up this next week. Teams are getting anxious and scared, and they will be without a good QB. I think he could get cut. I think he probably won't be. I think he's probably going to I hope it's not Pittsburgh. I think I'm just being a little bit Oh, I moved glitches. I think Pittsburgh is likely. I don't want it though. I don't want it. I just feel like I'm trying to ignore the fact that they would be interested in him. I hope if Watson's off the board, I hope they trade up to get Malik Willis. If they don't, I see him doing something like that. But there's a good chance, there's still a decent chance he gets cut because he just went through shoulder surgery. Won't be ready till the beginning of camp, if that. And you don't really know what you're dealing with. Are you really going to marry yourself to a guy that has a $27 million contract and is injury prone and is coming off shoulder surgery and had a thumb issue that was thought to need surgery and then they never did it and said it's fine, and he played on it? I just don't know how comfortable I am with Jimmy G, and I'm hoping that teams don't want to pay $27 million and then they just kind of sit back, and then the Niners need to use this money and then they cut him. So it's tough to say. A lot of people think that he won't get cut, but he certainly could. It's not the most likely scenario, but we'll have to see how it plays out. You know, if teams aren't knocking, then we might see that happen. What's up, media? Media's in the house. Where is that super chat? I wanted to get it back on screen because it was there are glitches. We got glitches with a 50 spot and Richard with the Hundy. So appreciate those big load drops on the screen there. What's up, media? Why do you make... What is this question? Why don't you make a fantasy baseball content? Because, that's a great question, Kyle. If I was better at fantasy basketball than I was fantasy football, why don't I do fantasy football or fantasy basketball? Because there's no market for it. There still really isn't. Like, I could create fantasy basketball content, and it's just such a small pond. I could be the number one content creator immediately in fantasy basketball content, but there's just nothing. I loved football near as much, so it was an easy call for me, to be like, I'm just gonna focus on football. But I like football more. Like, I don't like fantasy basketball as much. Like, let me word it this way. I was better at fantasy basketball predicting and finding sleepers and finding hidden talent than I was football. I enjoyed playing fantasy football more than fantasy basketball because it was just too long. I was better at fantasy basketball back in the day, but I've since let that go. And clearly I'm more seasoned in fantasy football now. It's been 20 years, but probably my first 4 years of doing content. So 16 years ago until 20 years ago. So 20 years ago up to 16 years ago, I did fantasy basketball. I did fantasy baseball too for a brief time. Later, Light, appreciate you, man. You're going to bed later, pal? So is fantasy hockey. I'd never done fantasy hockey. Fantasy WNBA, never done fantasy WNBA. I love March Madness. I'll be creating some March Madness content a little bit. Don't you worry. March Madness is one of the best days of the year. I feel AB is going to the Ravens. I thought he wouldn't play again, but now I kind of feel like with Arians beating up players, it just feels like it's going to happen again. It feels like AB is going to trick somebody else. He's going to trick somebody else. He's going to trick somebody else. I can feel it. What do we got? Next question. Is Glitch, are you still here? Richard, are you still here? If that happens, I would be rolling on the floor for sure. There's one guy here on YouTube who makes fantasy baseball content. He's like the only one. The main guy, I think it's decent. Yeah, I mean, I think I'd rock it out of the gate, bro. But I don't have time for it. Everything I do that isn't a show on my channel is holding me back from getting that much, more exposure and stuff. So it's like it's easy to get sidetracked. T-Bone for sure, says Glitches. AB is that dude, says Swaggy. But what way do you mean? Like he's that dude that's gonna get in trouble, or he's that dude you like him? Either way is fine. There's no hate here for anybody that loves AB. No hate here at all. No hate here at all. What are we doing here? Yeah, we got another question here. What is the super handcuff this year? Probably still Tony Pollard, number one. Did you hear how Ridley was betting up to 10K on NBA games, but apparently that's legal? Yeah, something about that. Think Gallup can be number one? No. Gary, that would mean Lamb wouldn't be the number one, bro. Come on. Smitty playing in my expert league this year. Playing in any expert leagues this year. Oh, tons of them. Tons of them, bro. Tons of them. I like AB. It's okay, Swaggy. I like Aaron Rodgers. People hate him. It's fine, bro. I play in a lot of expert leagues. I need to cut them back. I play in too many. I can't even keep up with them, and I can't do ad drops. I miss out on building my teams and making them better, and it just makes me look like I'm not paying attention or something when I really am not. I'll accept a lot of leagues for promotional reasons, and then I can't keep up with them. So I gotta get out of them. I can't do. I think I did 22 leagues last year. I just can't set my lineup in them. I can't. There'd be times where like I'd be live and somebody'd be banged up and it's the morning, and I've literally an hour and a half of being live until kickoff. I can't go through 22 teams and find out which one had Keenan Allen who's banged up. Like I end up starting guys that are hurt. I'm doing 22. I'll focus on like 4 of them that are the most important, and I'll check those real quick before the final minute kicks off. But yeah, I can't do 22 leagues again. What was I thinking? What if they use CD in the slot? Then he's for sure top 5 in the NFL. If CD's in the slot, CD Lamb's a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL in 2022 because he thrives in the slot. That's where Kupp thrived. The reason Kupp is so good and not you can't double team him is he plays in the slot. You can't double team the slot. Out of curiosity, is the fantasy football show your main focus? If not, would you want to make it your full-time? I am full-time, baby. I know it's a lot of streamers and content creators that want to do it full-time but can't. That's because it's hard. There's very few people that literally do this full-time. I do it full-time. I've been doing it for 20 years. And I've been doing it so long, I have more, like I have my sleeperu.com, which is right here. Let me move this. Oh, you can't even see it. How about this? Let me turn down the volume so I don't look at my Smitty. This is what I've been doing for 20 years.
Want bold year-round rankings, trade calculators, and bold predictions? Get on over to Sleeper. U.com.
So that, whoa, hold on. So that's my content site. So like, I have a lot of different, hats that I wear for this full-time job. So like, that's my content site. This is my YouTube show. But yeah, a lot of people don't understand like how to do it full-time too. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things that people don't get, and a lot of things that I think people try and do, and a lot of people will pretend they do it full-time and they don't. Or, a lot of people admit that they don't do it full-time, and I respect that. Like a lot of people can't do it. It's very saturated. The industry is very saturated. It's hard to break out, it's hard to break out. I've been doing it a long time though. I have the luxury of having a long term fan base on the content side, which didn't translate to the video side, to believe it or not. So I have, I came into video 3 years ago, 3 years ago. And I came into video, didn't do YouTube video, I did radio for 20 years. for fantasy football radio. Longest fantasy football radio show in the world. I did it 19. And when I did that, I thought, okay, I'm gonna create from sleeperu.com. I'm gonna create this content site. Or this YouTube channel, and I'm just gonna get everybody to come follow over and subscribe. I'm gonna have thousands of subscribers right away, like immediately. This could be awesome. I could easily launch a YouTube channel. I got like 150 subscribers from my thousands and thousands of content followers. I thought, oh my god, 100 people. Like they literally, they're two different worlds. The content people that read content, absorb content, they don't necessarily want to watch it. The people that watch it do want the written content. So like you guys spill back over to the content side, but the content side did not spill over to. So there's a lot of things that people don't, realize when they create content and try and do this for a living. There's a lot of moving parts. You got to have a lot of different, hats that you wear. I also work harder than arrogantly said, I know, but I work harder than anybody else. Like show me a person that is working harder than me, and I'll one them up. I'll be like, okay, now I'm gonna work hard. Like I will not be outworked. I will not be outworked. And I think a lot of people say that they do that. I work harder than anybody, but like I literally do all my editing, do all my you got to wear all those hats. It's really hard to create content. Like, so I do an interview once in a while with people, and I'm like, hey, what's up, man? And talk to them for an hour on their show. And then when the interview's over, I'm like, okay, cool. When's this video gonna go up? They're like, I got to get it to my editor. I'll probably get it back like next week. And it's like Monday, right? I'm like, you're not releasing it this week? Like all that content we talked about where I predicted this and this to happen, like you're literally going to release this in not this Friday, like it's Monday, but like next week. Like, so it's like there's a lot of people that don't they don't try and learn and wear all the hats and things like that. So I don't know. I put a lot of time into everything I do. I'm meticulous with the editing and everything. You got to be able to create, entertaining content. Thank you, Rag. It's a crime that Smitty doesn't have at least 50k subscribers. Everybody in this chat needs to get the word out. You know what? That is it. That's what would help. Is if everybody would spread the word, this thing would blow up. So really, really, it would be helpful if you guys can tell, like, even tell people at your work that maybe you play in a league with, but you're not that worried about, sharing your source with them. It's your work league. If you can't beat your work league with them knowing about the channel, then maybe you're getting worked. Maybe you need to step up your game, okay? Because your work league, you should be able to dominate even if you give them your ranking sheet right before you go and draft. So tell your work league. You don't have to tell your buddies, your close buddies, but tell your work league. Tell your grandma. Tell your Uncle Buck, your Uncle Bud. I mean, is that so much to ask? I don't think so. Realistic destinations for Watson with his no trade clause. Philly, Pittsburgh, if they in fact do want him. The reports are they don't. I think Carolina, he'd definitely consider. Maybe he shot down Carolina already, but I don't believe any of the reports he shot down. If you tell me he already said no to this team, I don't believe that. Not from you. Not saying I don't believe the person saying it. I don't believe the report or where it originated, because how on earth does this guy have time to answer questions, relay it to somebody, and then somebody asked the right person that found out that he said no to that? He doesn't have time for that. He's not talking to people. People like the clown slur make you look like a genius. Thank you. Appreciate that. Have the draft capital, but unless you are trading Hurts as well, you are creating another huge Wentz-Hurts problem again. I think Watson and Philly would be great, because then you could trade Hurts for more draft capital, you know what I mean? Or something, or a piece. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. We've been live for about an hour and 40 minutes. Please subscribe on your way out the door. If you're new, please hit the thumbs up if you haven't yet. And for goodness sakes, leave me a comment. I'm literally at your disposal. As soon as I hit finish and the video's up on my YouTube channel, it will start off with 0 comments. 0 comments. That's Espanol. 0. And you could comment and I could reply. It's up to you. The ball's in your court. There's 51 of you still in here. There should be 51 comments, maybe 55, depending on how many times Kango is going to reply. Okay, but there should be at least 55 to 58 comments of the 51 of you, including Kango doing the double posting. Get to it, okay? Because I will answer every one of you. Thank you, Kango. Thank you, T-Bone. Thank you, Debo, or Niner by nature. Smitty, the Cardinals need to do? What do they need to be to be contenders? They need Kyler to stop crying. They need Kyler to suck it up and become a leader. Is what they need. Appreciate you, Kango. Thank you, Glitches, for the super chat. Thank you, Richard, for the super chat, and thank you, Beach, for the double super chat. Those super chats go a long way. Appreciate you, Glitches. Would you email me, please, right now through sleeperu.com or DM me on Instagram? Richard, same thing to you, pal. If you're still watching, email me real quick. Appreciate all of you. Until next time. I'm sure tomorrow we have breaking news. Ever think of going on Discord? I have a Discord. We have 1,000 people in it. T-Bone, go to smitty1.com, which is right behind this sign right here. See, smitty1.com. Click on the Discord button and get on there, because we have 1,000 people on Discord. T-Bone, you've been missing out. You've been missing out, bro. You hear this whole time you've been wanting to get on us to get on Discord, and we're on Discord already, T-Bone. We're already there. You're late to the party, but it's okay to be late as long as you show up. Bring a casserole as a penance, but get on over to the Discord, bro. It's awaiting your arrival. I will even go in there and look for you. Appreciate all of you. Our Discord is fire, says Kenny. Richard's still burning the screen up with this hundo, and Glitches with the half a hundo. You guys are just, those donos are just burning the screen, a hole in the screen. All right, T-Bone, see you over there. Appreciate all of you. Leave a comment.